Where's Fiona?
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you please to remain upstanding and put your hands together for your bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson!
But what I've got to say is I came here today to give my daughter away. And by nature I'm quite a generous sort of person. That was the hardest thing I've ever given away in my life. But honestly, she's always been my wee pal. The day she was born, I used to walk with her for miles in the pram, talking to her all the time. Then we go in the car. Just kind of keep going here.
That's all right, David.
But I tell her stories. She's always interested in family history. And the things I told her you wouldn't believe. Whether she believed them or not. But we played pool, we played cards, and she always thought I was cheating because I always won. But she was 5 and I was 50.
So of course you were cheating.
Of course I was cheating. But as I say, I came here today to give Flora away.
Ah, brilliant. Don't stop now.
I really couldn't have given that to a better guy. Most of us have known Gary for
Now we're on a roll. Best father of the bridesmaid ever.
No, really, I'm really pleased that you picked Gavin, or Gavin picked her, because he's a smashing guy, and I know she's a doll. She's always been a doll. And I've known Gavin for a wee while now, and I know he's a smart guy as well. I trust him and I believe in him, and I hope that they'll be very happy together. So I'll ask you to raise your glasses and wish Mr. and Mrs. Johnson all the very best for the future.
Can we stay down there? Everybody else stand.
Cheers.
Mr. and Mrs.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Gavin.
Wait.
How do you follow that? It's never easy, is it? Anyway, good evening, family, friends, and I'd just like to start by saying on behalf of my wife, it's absolutely fantastic to welcome everyone along here today to help Fiona and I celebrate this fantastic day, our wedding. Feels good to say wife, and I don't think I'll get fed up saying that, Fiona. Just like to start by thanking David for his very fine toast today. Dad, father-in-law, I take this opportunity to thank David and Flora for allowing me to marry their only daughter, Fiona. The Park dynasty isn't so much... Wait, please. The Park dynasty isn't so much is gaining another son, but collecting another past master. The Johnston clan are definitely getting the best part of this deal by gaining another intelligent, beautiful daughter into the Johnston family. I suppose it's slightly unusual when you know all of your in-laws before you actually know the main attraction. And that's just how it was with Fiona and I. I've known Angus, David, Heather and Janice for about 20 years. And I'm not there yet, honey. She's adding bits of speech in already, you know.
Get used to it.
You're not allowed to heckle. You're not allowed to heckle me, that's all right.
Just as long as you get the last word, Gavin.
I also met David Senior several times, and of course, Mum Flo. Okay?
The only man allowed to call me by my first name.
And may I just say, Flo, how absolutely fabulous you look today. Perfect mother of the bride.
Yeah.
And as a small token of Fiona and I's appreciation. I'd just like to give you these today. There you go.
No, what you do. That is gorgeous. Thanks to
You're
both
welcome.
of you. That's gorgeous.
The only brother that I hadn't met was sitting right here in front of us, which is Stuart. Now, as you all know, Stuart, Laura and Alex stay in Dubai. And Fiona and I, the day that we got engaged, we were going round, well, it wasn't the day that we got engaged, we'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, the day that we were going round to tell Flora that we were getting married, we walked into the house and Stuart was in. Now that was a bit of a shock for a start, because I'd never met him. Not that I knew of him. And Fiona and I went in with the intention of telling Flora on our own that we were going to get married. Which we did. We sat down, Fiona introduced me to Stuart, we shook hands, another brother, well there you go. Now brother-in-law. And Fiona said, after a couple of minutes of general chit-chat, Mum, get something to tell you. Gavin's asked me to marry him. Now, Flora was shocked for a start. However, there was hugs and kisses all round and more shaking of hands. And then Stuart just came out with the immortal line, you know, I mean, my God, what does this guy have that all the other guys didn't? Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't really sure what to say. However, I looked at Fiona and she was smiling, so that seemed to be okay. Anyway, we both like to say it's great to see all the family along here today. Fiona and I would like to take this opportunity to thank David for doing your bit in the church today, the reading, which was absolutely fantastic. Thanks for doing that. I'd also like to thank Stuart for saying grace at the beginning of the meal. Now then, turning to the Johnston side of this part of the family. We're both absolutely delighted that my dad's along here today. Unfortunately, my mum can't be here. However, Fiona and I, as soon as we get back from honeymoon, we'll be straight over and we're going to get some pictures taken with Mum. Anyway, I've got a favourite story that I've got to tell you. Anyway, I've got a favourite story I need to tell you that my mum likes to tell about me.
We've heard it.
Have you? Good.
On YouTube.
Seriously, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, this is a long time ago when I was a young lad of 4, and I was out the back with a wee pal. Robert Burns was the guy's name. Honestly, that's a fact. Stayed across the road, him and I are out in the green, outside playing, and my mum must have been in the garden hanging up some washing or doing something. However, she heard this conversation going between Robert and myself, really serious conversation, you know. Robert turned round to me and he said, "Listen, Gavin, are you a Catholic boy or a Protestant boy?" And quick as a flash, I turned around and said, "No, I'm a cowboy." And I know what you're all thinking. He's still a cowboy. You're not getting the boots on today. And it was great to see my sister Janice here with her fiance Paul. Fantastic. And it's great to see Helen along here with her fiance Graham. Isn't this a great? It must be catching this marriage thing, you know. So we're both looking forward to getting along to your weddings in the near future, both of you. So it's great to see you here today. Fiona and I are also delighted that Joshua, Rachel, my kids are here today, along with Josh's partner Ashley. And January this year, I became Granda Gav, who presented Caleb, beautiful little boy, on the 7th of January this year. And I'm absolutely delighted about that. Congratulations, you guys. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Joshua and Andrew for carrying out their ushering duties today. Thank you very much. And managing to keep the families apart. Now, not that the Johnsons were outnumbered today, however, and we weren't expecting any trouble, but Andrew does say that all confiscated items will be returned at the end of the year. Okay? So, that's great. Now, I'd like to turn my attention to two of beautiful girls sitting here at the top table today. Of course, talking about Claire, the chief bridesmaid, and Rachel, bridesmaid. Okay, girls, just let everyone just have another wee look at how gorgeous you look today. Come on. There we go. Okay, you can sit down. If I'm going to get embarrassed about this, everyone else is getting embarrassed. Anyway, I'd like to thank both of you for supporting Fiona today and carrying out a fantastic job. Fiona tells me, Claire, that you did a fantastic job last weekend of organising a hen do. I know that a lot of the women are here today, and they all had a fantastic time. So, well done. The first time I spoke to Claire, definitely, you know what I mean, first time I spoke to Claire, first time I spoke to Stuart, deja vu, but yeah. Anyway, Fiona phoned Claire to tell her that we were getting married and she was going to be asking her to be her chief bridesmaid today. Never having spoken to Claire before, Fiona handed me the phone and said, "Here you go, it's Claire." And I was like, "Right, okay." Fine. And Claire came on the phone and she said, "Thanks for marrying Auntie Fiona." Well, Claire, let me just say to you, thanks for being Fiona's chief today and getting to the church. Rachel, I was very proud when Fiona said that she was going to ask you to be bridesmaid today. We're both pleased that you said it. Fiona tells me that you helped out today to keep the glasses full. I'm sure the champagne tasted much better than anything you had on holiday. Yeah, thanks very much for doing that today. So now it's my absolute pleasure to ask everyone to be upstanding. And everyone to be upstanding and raise your glasses in a toast. Sorry, Fee. To raise your glass and toast the bridesmaids today, Claire and Rachel.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, please. No, I'm sorry. I'd like to take this opportunity now to thank the guy sitting here on my left. Angus, my best man. We've known each other, as I said, for 20 odd years. We've known each other because of Freemasonry. We basically came through the ranks, and we went to the chair of our respective lodges at the same time. They couldn't even get us out the chair. They made us do 2 years. We were so good. Anyway, I've lost my place, I'm sorry, because that was a bit of preamble, sorry. Anyway, the first time that Angus and I met at a meeting, I knew that him and I were going to hit it off.
Was it in the moonlight?
Very good, Dave. I knew that we were going to go in famously because neither of us suffer fools. Angus much more than I suffers fools not at all. And I'm sure that if anyone actually follows him on Facebook, you'll have seen his comments, which are absolutely fantastic, I've got to say. So if you haven't seen it, go on Facebook and look at his comments. They're great. However, as far as Angus is concerned, everything is, well, I need to put this down, everything's black and white, okay? And nothing in between. Now, normally, that's not how Angus actually says that, but I'm being polite when we've got children in the room as well, so if you come and speak to Angus later, I'm sure he'll show you what he actually says about that. We've enjoyed our years together and each other's company over the years. Not everyone's enjoyed our company, I've got to say. David will testify to this from last weekend when he picked us up at the rugby club after Angus and I having done a 12-hour session, and David, stone cold sober, arrived, and we basically annihilated him. I'm sorry, David, but that's just how Angus and I are. People don't necessarily enjoy our company. Anyway, try not to embarrass me too much with your speech. But I'd just like to thank you for your support today, getting me to the church in time, looking after the rings, making sure that we've got the rings there. And I look forward to the ensuing years of our friendship continuing. Now, moving my attention to the most important person here today. My wife, Fiona. Now, I thought that I was a really organised person. However, last year I found out that I'm not the most organised person. Fiona is the most organised person I've ever met. However, I'll get back to that a wee bit in a minute. Fiona and I met just over a year ago at Angus and Janice's silver wedding anniversary. And it was an absolutely fantastic night. As you can expect, because the parks were involved, you know, that the music was fantastic. Janice sang and played the guitar, which was absolutely fantastic. And I actually caught up with a lot of people that I hadn't seen for a long number of years. However, Fiona was there, I was there. She was there with a French teacher, female. Okay, just in case anyone was wondering. Anyway, Flo had a part to play in this as well, as you would expect.
Not true.
It's absolutely true, okay? Take my word for it. Every time that I would pass Flo and ask her if she was okay for a martini, she'd be like,
I'll give us 2.
have you spoken to Fiona yet? No? You did so. You're a fiddle. You did?
No, you did.
Did you speak to Fiona? No, I haven't. Anyway, shh.
Anyway. She used to tell me to shut
This is
up.
long enough. I'm still at
Anyway, shh. So I was like, no, I've not spoken to her yet. Not yet. But however, I didn't know, but she was actually doing the exact same thing to Fiona. Asking Fiona, have you spoken to Gavin yet? No. Anyway, got to a point in the night when I had a couple of Millers, and anyone who knows me knows that I like a bottle of Miller now and again. And they don't sell it here. No Miller. Come on. Anyway, I was standing at the bar, ordering a drink. Fiona happened to be about 2 foot away from me. And having had a couple of millers, I leaned over and touched her on the arm and said, "Hi, Fee, do you like a drink?" She looked at me actually stunned that someone had called her Fee for a start. I think that was the problem. However, she said yes. And the rest, as I say, is history. Fate is an amazing thing. Being in the right place at the right time. And Fiona and I both believe that we are supposed to be together. I'm the luckiest guy in the world here today. Now, that might be corny. I don't really care. Fiona, that's how I feel. Okay? We laugh, we argue, we cry, but most of all, we love each other. Back to the organised bit. Okay, that was a wee bit of sentiment. I'll get back there. Back to organised. As I said before, I've been called anal for most of my life. That was for Gran and Andrew. And I didn't write that down, by the way. However, it was okay. Sorry, everyone. It's because I like things to be done right. Okay. However, my Fiona, yeah, likes things done better than right. Quite right. Today, family and friends, what you've seen is things being done right today. Organisational skills that started off with the design of the invitations, the flowers, the bridesmaids' dresses, the cake, the hotel, the cars, the church, and of course our very own outfit today. And may I just say again in front of everyone how absolutely gorgeous you look today, hon. If anyone didn't know the fact that Fiona and I actually got engaged a year ago today, that's a fact. And I asked Fiona to marry me when we were in one of the most romantic capitals in the world. I'm talking about one of Fiona's favourite places, which is Paris. And she accepted without a second thought. Okay. Maybe a bit. Anyway, it also helps going to any country in the world that speaks French, because as everyone, well not everyone, but most people will know in here, Fiona speaks French perfectly. She is undoubtedly the most intelligent, strong and beautiful woman I've ever known. And I'm so very lucky that she agreed to marry me. I look forward to a future with Fiona. We're still learning about each other, and I know that I'm not the easiest person to live with in the world. However, I think that's one of the reasons we got on so well. But not only today, but the whole of the last year has been so surreal. I have to pinch myself just to realise that this woman next to me is actually with me, let alone now married to me. And how fantastic my life's been over the past year since we've been together. There is a saying that you don't marry someone you can live with, you marry someone that you can't live without. And I'm sure that sums us up perfectly. Watching Fiona walk up that aisle today, well I didn't because I didn't turn round. Until I'd written this before I did that. Okay, I didn't look round, honestly I didn't. However, as she walked up the aisle today, it made me realise just how lucky I am. I looked at myself and realised it was definitely me getting the best part of this deal. You always bring the best out of me and Fiona. You understand me like no one else does. And you're always fighting back over. So Fiona, can I just finally say that I look forward to growing old with you. Making you laugh, but most of all, letting you know each and every day just how much I love you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together your best man, Mr. Angus.
You know, it's a funny way to spell Gavin, isn't it? I realised this speech was going to be 40 minutes long, mine would be even shorter. Sorry. The bride, groom, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank Gavin on behalf of the bridesmaids, who do indeed look fantastic, as does his bride. Also, I'd like, well, you can clap that if you want. Also, I'd like to thank the other people that were involved in the day. When we were at the church and the minister, I thought the service was lovely. The photographer has been kind of unseen, but taking everybody's pictures, hasn't been in her way or anything like that. So she's done a really good job. The hotel for the beautiful layout. It is a fantastic place to have your wedding reception, and it's been really nice to be here today. We've had a lovely meal. I'm sure we'll have a lovely rest of the evening as well. If I forgot to thank anybody else, I'm sorry. I'm just a big thanker. Now, I can understand why Gavin chose his bridesmaids, but his choice of best man left me a wee bit puzzled. Now, I have ticked a few of the boxes. Long-time friend, someone who makes them look good when we're standing together in photographs. A safe pair of hands to look after 2 rings for 2 hours. But of course, the best man has to make a speech. Oh well. Unaccustomed as I am to making best man speeches, it falls to me to roast the bride and groom. Sorry, toast. I know it doesn't, but I'm just making this up as I go along. Well, this is a day that's right up there with hell freezing over, a blue moon in the sky, with your anti-abolish together. It's here, it's arrived, it's Margie's sister's wedding. I must admit, there was a few of us here who thought we were only going to live long enough. In fact, before they fly out tomorrow, Fiona's got a doctor's appointment so she can get the scalps removed from her ears. So if you think I've been having the bride, wait till I start. It's a fairly unusual twist of fate that brought me to the position knowing both the bride and the groom. For a start, and I'm still on Fiona here, Fiona was born nearly 5 years after me, which leads me to think that she was maybe a mistake. If it wasn't for my overwhelming cuteness, it would have usurped me from the favoured position as most favourite son since 1965. But it's happened, and for those who wondered who this guy is, who swept the unsweepable off her feet, I can tell you a few things about Gavin. I say a few because he's been through this speech and censored it. If it's dull, boring or unfunny, it's his fault. Gavin, as he said, he actually said most of my speeches, he was going through that long speech he was making himself. Gavin, as I said, 20 years we've known each other, and the first time I met Gavin, you will see the similarities as I go through it, as way I can. I could tell there was something about Gavin that I liked. You know, a kindred spirit possibly, but definitely not his ponytail. If Gavin and I were going out anywhere, part of the anticipation of going out was wondering what he was going to do and visit in this napper of his. Unbelievable. I would have to say that my particular favourite was the night that he went out with a pint of Guinness. He had black hair up to here, and then this shock of blonde on the top. Absolutely unreal. I'm glad to see these urges are now past because his forehead is not going to get any shorter. Past the initial meetings, our fate was sealed by, as he mentioned, the progression through the offices in our relative lodges, which were adjacent to Renfrewshire East. And we both went to the chair in 2001 for 2 years. And in the years that followed, we wreaked havoc in that province with our own particular brand of humour. Indeed, we even had a tilt at world domination until we realised that the spoon that we'd been born with wasn't the right colour, wasn't it? No. Unfortunate for them, but there we go. But that didn't dampen our spirits. nor our beer, nor our wine. Not even that one that's brewed down in Devonshire Abbey that we occasionally partake of. Just occasionally. In that time, as Gav said, we made a good many friends, a few foes, some intentional and some who just got hurt on the way. That's the way it goes. As near of us, as he said, suffer fools particularly gladly. So how did Gav the mate transform into Gav the potential brother-in-law? You see, another likeness to his speech. Well, Janice and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary last year and decided to mark it with a low-key party in the rugby club. With as many families and friends as we could muster, along with a few old friends from the past, which group wouldn't have been complete without our Gav? So having issued with a verbal invite, his initial reaction was, "Is there any spare going to the party?" At this I told him, "Behave yourself, it's a family do." "Aye, but is there any spare going?" "No," I replied, "just behave yourself." And so it came to pass. I'll cut out the evening because Gav's already covered that. But come the end of the night, Flo, as he now calls her, was looking for a travelling companion. But Fiona was nowhere to be seen. "Go and see if you can find her," says Mom. So I was dispatched, had a look in the box. No. Look at the front. No. So I went round the darkened side of the club. And it was with a sense of shock that I found the two of them deep in discussion. Fiona was duly dispatched off with Mrs. P. And Gav, as he was staying with us, came back with us to the house. And later the two of us were sitting having a drink because we still hadn't had enough. I'm back to the house and Gavin says to me, "Fiona says you would give me a mobile number." Aye, right. No, she says you were going to give me a mobile number. So by the next morning I'd finally relented and passed the damn thing over. The course of true love took its course quietly. And a couple of months later we were back up at my Ma's to celebrate my birthday. I'd taken a bottle of bubbly up because we'd been given a few bottles for the party. And champagne has to be said, isn't it? My favourite tip. And Fiona says, "As we're opening the champagne, Gav and I have an announcement to make." Now I must admit at this point, a number of things came to me. Happily they're only announcing their engagement. Gavin, of course, is a bit of a sports nut. Before I met him, he played handball to a high standard. If you don't know what handball is, you've obviously not got Eurosport. Handball is right up there with the idiot Olympic sports of right ear, elastic band, pulling endurance, and skin and polar bears.
Thanks.
He's interested in most sport, but his main sport is cricket, where he's achieved an ECB level coaching by.
Yeah.
Coached,
Level 2 coach. Yeah.
I knew he'd correct me at that point anyway, so I just left it blank. He is very keen on cricket, and he took Fiona to watch Joshua playing cricket. And you can answer that if you want. She managed to sit through the first innings, although plainly bored. In the second innings, a batsman gave a tremendous swipe and knocked the ball straight out of the ground. Thank goodness they've got rid of it, she said, and go home. Cricket is a long run. All joking aside, I say is Gav is a bit of a fitness freak. Fanatic, sorry. I didn't write the word freak. And he's always at the gym. And after I said I was going to lose a bit of weight for the wedding, I was surprised when he said he was going to lose a stone for the wedding too. Now initially I thought Fiona was going to cut off one of his testicles. But happily not.
Yet.
Gavin and Fiona have tied the knot. And I have a few challenges ahead. For a start, there's the Doug Buggy. Bugs, as Fiona calls him, recycle bastard. Wee Bug loves to tune your shoes, especially if your foot's still up. Gavin isn't put off with this because Gavin's trying to teach him how to fly, mate. Another challenge ahead is winning an argument. As you may have alluded to before, Fiona is as unreasonable as me. So you've got your work cut out there. And a wee word of advice that was passed on to me many, many years ago. Never go to sleep in an argument. She may stab you while you're sleeping. If I come to praise Caesar, not to bury him. And I was going to take an opportunity to read a few messages, but there only is actually one card in front of me. that hasn't been sent by me or the cake producer. And that's just from Gavin's Auntie Christine and Uncle Alan, who's Alan Gavin Johnson as opposed to Gavin Alan Johnson. So they send their best wishes to you both on this wonderful day. There we go. So last of all, I know we've done it already, but I'd like to invite everybody to be upstanding apart from the bride and groom. And we'll toast them rather than roast them. Gavin and Fiona.
Gavin and Fiona.
And through it all, when there was doubt, they'll spit it up, they'll spit it out. The record shows they'll take the blows and do it